Welcome to Cavan TV's News and Views, Ireland's first live web TV current news programme with over 2 million viewers worldwide, and we are on a web TV site near you. My name is Áine Duffy, and we bring the programme to you weekly on Fridays 7 to 8 Greenwich Mean Time. Each week we take a look at what is going on in the county and invite guests to chat live in the studio. If you have an event you want us to know about or an issue you'd like discussed, please email us at drumlinmedia@gmail.com. So, anything interesting going on? Please do let us know. It's 5 weeks to go to Christmas, folks, and here on Cavan News and Views, we are giving you the chance to send us in a photo of your town or your village in the run-up to Christmas. You can do that by sending it into drumlinmedia@gmail.com and do tell us the story behind it. At this point, folk, we would like to say that what happened last Friday evening in Paris, France, was devastating. 129 people killed, many more injured in an organised terrorist attack. Nations worldwide condemned this action and offered support and condolences to the French people. We must make the point also that at the same time, this is happening in Libya, Syria and in other parts of the world. It's sad to say that in the history of worldwide wars, it seems that nobody has ever learned the lesson that the murdering and maiming of innocent people does not solve anything. We do send our sympathies to all the folk who are injured in this and that lost their lives, and we do send us to all the folk in wars all over the world. I'd like to say hi to the folk who log in all over the world and watch us as well, and this week we have a very special hello and congratulations to Nicola and Jared McCullough. They are in the Bronx in New York, and last weekend they had a little baby boy called Oisín. So well done there, folks. Also, we have an email from Kathleen Murphy, and she's in the Lower Bronx, and she says that she's got 2 more weeks and she will be back in Ghana, and she's looking so forward to see her first Christmas home in 8 years. Keep those emails rolling into us here in Cavan TV. And moving on, we have a great programme lined up for you, so do stay with us. Let's have a look at what's going on in some of the county this week. Now, if you want your news items included, again, do email them to drumlinmedia@gmail.com. Fantastic news in Cavan this week. The Holy Family School in Cardle has got the go-ahead for the long-awaited state-of-the-art school. We had an interview recently with some of the parents of children in this school. They told us that the 156 students and teachers had to use an adapted storage room, an end of corridor, and an old economics room, and having to travel on a bus to get from the classrooms to the canteen. The new purpose-built building will be built under the Department of Education Building Programme 2016 to 2021. That's great news for the Holy Family School in Cardle. And also, the Cavan Institute will be included in this funding. The 30 million third level campus will see that all courses will be contained on one site after completion of building. That is excellent news for County Cavan, and well done to both of those schools. This is the time of the year for drama. This weekend, Carrigallen hosts its one-act drama festival. That's on tonight, tomorrow night and Sunday night, with a 2 p.m. show during the day on Sunday. Doors open at 8 o'clock. It's €10 per show or €25 for a weekend ticket. In Cavan Town Hall, which is now the Art Centre, The Gallant John Joe, written by Cavan man Tom McIntyre, will be performed by Tom Hickey. That's on tomorrow night, doors at 8, €10, and that's there for one night only. In Muff, that's near Kingscourt, there is a book launch. It's called The Loch and Lee and Muff. And this is a local book with local songs, poems, heritage and folklore. Shane Connaughton himself will do the honours. And that's in Muff Primary School next Saturday, November the 28th at 8:15. Now, I want to tell you as well that we had a great interview with Shane Connaughton and Sean Doris on the closing of the Garda station in Red Hills. Now, you can go back into our archives on drumlinmedia/Vimeo, and you can see all these interviews, and please do go back and see it. It was great stuff. It was great to have Shane Connaughton in the studio. President of the GAA, Egon O'Farrell, yes, a Cavan man, will officially open Drumgoon's new walking and running track next Sunday. That's November the 22nd in the Boyle Park. It's at 11:30, and that will be followed by a 5k fun run. In Belturbet, you can go bowling on a Thursday night in the Good Store at the station at 8 o'clock. It's there for males, females, anybody of all ages. And that's something to do on the long dark summer nights and the run up before Christmas. The Virginia Development Awards are tonight in the Riverfront Hotel, and that starts at 8 o'clock. And we have an email in to say that there are only a few tickets left, so you still have time to get there, and the tickets are €30. We would like to congratulate Vivian Van Standen, who just last weekend became the Irish Open Masters Women Recurve Champion. Well done, Vivian, and as some of the comments on Facebook said about her, is there anything that this lady can't do? Well done, and congratulations there again, Vivian. Yes, folks, we do have a tractor run this week. It's Granard, it's on Sunday, it's at the Granard Farmers Mart, gathering at 11 o'clock, and that's a fundraiser for the Christmas lights. Now, have you been to the County Museum in Ballinagh yet? As always, there are fantastic exhibitions going on all the time, and we'd like to say well done to Savina Donoghue over there and her staff as they won an award at the Anglo-Celt Business and Tourism Awards. Yesterday, an exhibition of Father Brown's photographs, and it's entitled War Photographs from the Front, was open. Please, folks, if you really want to see our heritage and the great work that they're doing over there, you can see the trenches, and also there is a model of the GPO, the post office, in the Ballinagh in the County Museum. So well worth a visit. Cavan Crystal Hotel is the venue for the Psychic Health and Craft Fair. That's on this Sunday, 12 to 6, and funds raised will go to So Sad. Please support. Now, as we always do, and we do say on this programme, we give plenty of time to any issues pertaining to our mental health. As they say, it's okay not to be okay. Now, if you're not in a good place, there is a list of Cavan numbers that you can call, and I'm going to call them out now. And it's So Sad Cavan, and it's 049 4326 339. The Samaritans, of course, is nationwide. That's a free call, it's a free call actually. It's 116 123, and Aware, and that's 1890 303 302. And I'd just like to mention there as well, folks, that So Sad have a drop-in centre in Bridge Street, and it's open there all the times during the week, and anybody can drop in anytime for a chat, for a tea, for a coffee, and get hooked up with some kind of help if you need it or anything like that. Okay, we mentioned there in the programme that there's a tractor run this week, and that's in Granard, and that is to raise money for their Christmas lights. Now, great, County Cavan is going to look fantastic over the Christmas festive season with the lights. And one town that really works hard at their lights, of course, is Ballinagh in County Cavan. And with me this evening, I have two great people in from Ballinagh. I've got Eddie Brady, and I've got Tina Kenny in from the Ballinagh Christmas Lights Committee. Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you, Áine.
Okay, let's get to the saga of the Ballinagh Christmas Lights. Tina, you started off there back in 1999.
Well, I think
let Eddie tell the story. It hit nationwide news, Ballinagh Lights, or the lack of them there, as it was at the time.
Yeah, well, I suppose for the more than 30 years, Santa did come to Ballinagh every year for Christmas, and the usual setup was, and about 2 weeks before Christmas, the man from the North Pole would arrive on a trailer drawn by a tractor driven by the late Walter Smith of Athlone, God rest his soul, and they proceed down to the market square, led by a marching band, usually some crow pipers, one year, and Kilmore brass band the next year. At the market square, Santa would present gifts, usually sweets or chocolate, to
just
anything.
Just a bag of sweets, Eddie, I can tell you.
Anything up to 200 kids. Yeah, anything up to 200 children.
The town was black with people those years. You couldn't move or walk, and all the bars were packed.
Everywhere was packed. It was a big night. Yeah. Everyone from far and near came into town that Friday night. Well, then in 1999, a group of local people got the idea that it would be great if Ballinagh could have street lights on the street of the town. Now, it was a good idea, but there were a lot of hiccups and obstacles we crossed before that.
Ryan show first, didn't it?
It hit the Jerry Ryan show.
Somebody said they drove through Ballinagh. Correct me if I'm wrong. They drove them to Ballinagh and they said, "Wow, what a miserable town! They don't have a Christmas tree and they have no lights. What's going on there?"
They said they were so mean. They were too mean to have lights.
The meanest town in Ireland.
The meanest town in Ireland. So, boys, then.
Well, that set the blood pressure high in a few people, and the following autumn, early on, about late August, early September, a meeting was called for the community centre to sort out the possibility or the chances of being able to put lights on the streets of the town. Now, there was a very large attendance, and a committee was formed, and their function would be to get in touch with electrical contractors and find out what would the overall cost be. And that, now, we were starting off with, as a new committee would be, with not Bob in the kitty. And
so
everything.
That's where the hard work started.
Everything.
And I know that's where you got involved in the raising. The first thing that had to be done in the raising of the funds. But I want to hold up for a second before we get to that. I want to talk about Ballinagh. Ballinagh is what? It's the gateway to the west, isn't it?
That's right.
It is. It's the one town you have to pass through to get from the north to anywhere over Galway and over the west.
Yeah.
And now anybody that stands out in Ballinagh, there is not 2 seconds when a big heavy vehicle is not coming thundering through that street. And in recent years, it is a very wide street. Going back over the history, that's the time there was the big fire and the houses got burnt, and then I don't know, we ended up with wide street, which is a blessing in this day and age. But it is one hell of a busy town. I don't know how there is not any, more fatalities in it. So a really busy town, you have to pass through it, and that in itself was a problem because putting up lights and everything, and insurance, everything was problematic in that it was such a busy town.
It was, yeah. But we soon got around all that. We had great support from the people of the town and from the businesses and everybody, really. I mean, no matter what we did that year, everybody rolled in behind us. Everybody was on board with us. Every other committee, the businesses, all the people of the town. We had to raise in excess of 12,000 that first year.
That's back in 1999.
That was back in 1999, which was a lot of money and a very small window of time. We raised it.
How did you start raising it?
Well, the biggest thing we done was to challenge Jerry Ryan to come to Ballinagh, and we'd prove to him that we were not the meanest town in Ireland. And he took us up on that, and he sent Brenda Donohoe to Ballinagh, as you know, to come live from Ballinagh. On that morning, one of the wettest, windiest mornings we've seen since or before, they arrived, and the town was absolutely black with people. Everybody turned out. We ran functions of course it was on the radio, so everybody knew about it. It
went out live on the
Jerry Ryan programme.
Ballinagh, and some soldier guy abseiled out of the market house, and he landed and he put the fairy on the top of the tree. It was live, broadcast on national airways. And
that's right, you were there yourself, Áine.
Yes, and Eddie, you were there, and they wanted to hear more of you. But it was great crack in Ballinagh that morning, a great start to the Christmas tree, and keep the lights going. And the lights have been going every year since. We've been going every year since.
It hasn't got any easier raising funds because, as you know, we've come through and still going through a recession. And it hasn't got any easier, but what I will say is that the people of Ballinagh and the business people and the amount of support we get is just unreal, even in the bad times.
Of course, Tina, it is fair to mention that Ballinagh, from the time it was like 30, 40 years ago, was well, it mightn't have been a quiet, sleepy village, as we say, it was the gateway to the west, but it was a relatively small village. But it is not now. It is a very well developed town. It's got, the school has had to grow several times.
That's right.
There were housing estates where there was only one little council estate before.
Right, yeah.
And nearly everybody I remember the days where you knew everybody in every house.
Yeah, you don't.
You knew everybody's dog even. Now that's been.
Yeah.
That's
it's multicultural now. We have.
It's multicultural. We've got so many people that.
So many people in the town. It has grown tremendously. As you said, there was a time when we knew everybody. We don't know everybody now, but we welcome everybody to the town. We have welcomed everybody and always, you know, treat everybody with the respect that we like to be treated with ourselves.
Of course, the fantastic community centre is there. That the big effort was to build back in the 1970s, 80s, and Ballinagh was the hub of the show band.
That's right, yes.
The show band era at that time. Ballinagh was the place
the
to go
place to
on
go
a Saturday
on
night.
a Saturday night, yeah.
My goodness, like it was. I met Paddy Cole there a few weeks ago. He was in the Imperial when they launched the new Imperial. And he used to drink in O'Brien's in Ballinagh.
That's right.
And I said, Paddy, I'll give you a flashback to the past. And we spoke about the Ballinagh, and he said Ballinagh was phenomenal. Even among the guys in the bands themselves, it was phenomenal.
Yeah, it was, because the biggest place, I suppose, next to it would have been the Granada in Granard, which was the Sunday night venue at that time for the show bands and the big bands.
Sort of people who went to the different.
Yeah, they had. Well, it was actually the same people, because Ballinagh was Saturday night and Granard was Sunday night.
Oh, you had to get 2 nights
so
a week out.
you got the 2 nights. You were in
Oh,
Ballinagh
great.
on a
Did you do
Saturday
the 2
night.
nights, Tina?
I did it more than 3 nights. I did Cornavane as well on a Friday night.
Oh my goodness. Now, to get back to talk to Ballinagh and to raising the funds, and that's why you're here tonight. Well, we're here to talk a little bit about the history of Ballinagh, because it is an interesting place and plenty of stuff goes on out there. But you're still raising funds, and this year you are raising more funds, and you have a great big night coming up. But the history of that is, as a matter of fact, is, Tina, that you were the first to have a big fight night.
That's right. Back in 2009, we came up with it's difficult. Every year you try to come up with something different, because you don't like hitting the same people all the time, and you like to give them something.
Especially the business people as well, because they have to make a living as well. So.
And you want to give entertainment as well. Not always be looking for money for tickets, but give something for entertainment. So we came up with the idea of a fight night, and we knew we were kind of in the dark. It hadn't been done before, and we set about it and ploughed on, and with the help of Brian McKeown and Andy Murray, whom I cannot speak highly enough of. They were
you didn't get him to come along this evening?
He was unable to attend this evening. He had a prior engagement. But they were absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Back in 2009, they came on board, they trained the boxers, they told us what we had to do, we'd done everything. It was a phenomenal success.
Okay, so Eddie, what did you think of that? Did you think they were mad with a big fight night?
Oh, well, no, I thought it was a great idea at the time, a great idea right now too. And it was a way of boosting up our funds, because funds are wanted really badly. And it did that. That would be, I think, about 6 years ago. Was that the right
2009.
That is many years
and now it helped in a very big way to finance the erection of lights for several years.
Okay, we're going to talk about your big night. Sorry, Eddie, for cutting in there. It's the big fight night, and it's going to be in the community centre in Ballinagh for the Ballinagh Christmas lights, and it's the 27th of November. That's next Saturday night.
Friday night.
Next Friday night, sorry.
This
Folks.
night
We
week.
have to get this night week. Let's get it right, folks. And it's €10 a ticket. Now, Tina, just to get the back in that, and I was speaking to you earlier today, and you were saying, my gosh, the organisation of an event like this, it was nearly doing your head in. Big organisation, a lot of work goes on behind the scenes.
Yes.
But Tina, where is it that you actually make the money? Like, is it really worth the effort? Will it make you a big? Will it make a big substantial amount for your Christmas lights?
Well, we hope so. We certainly hope so, because in recent years we have had to replace the lights, wattage and that, different things to do with electricity, which I'm not very big on. I must mention at this point Martin Lovett, who is our electrical contractor and does sterling work every year for us. It costs money all the time. They have to be, the lights have to be maintained, insurance, Santa. There is a lot of expense goes into it. With regards to the organisation of the fight night, you have to get the boxers and make sure they're all together at the right time, get them in for training, make sure that everything's done.
That's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work in the background, but we don't mind the work. If it's one thing I can say, we have a small but very good committee, you know, who get on very well, and they're not afraid of work, and they're not afraid to get out there and raise funds for the lights. actually.
Tina, you brought in the poster there. We haven't time to get it up on the email there, but you have the poster, folks. Now out there, if you see the posters out there in Ballinagh, Brian, if you see like Tina's holding up the poster there, and there you go, guys. Tina, can you just get great big poster. The Ballinagh Christmas lights present the big fight night in Ballinagh Hall this night week, as Eddie says, the 27th of November, and it's at 9 o'clock. And local competitors. Okay, tell me some of the folk in that. Who are the local guys that are going to throw it out?
Well,
any girls in it?
Ladies and guys.
We have 4 girls.
Both.
We have 4 girls.
Do you want to mention them?
And
or you keep it a surprise?
I
keep it a surprise.
I can mention them, but I prefer to keep it a surprise.
Okay, that's grand.
We have some footballers. We have people from different walks of life. All very, very good lads and girls that are helping us out, free, gratis, and for nothing. They're getting nothing for it, only
get a clout at
a
somebody else.
Abuse.
Or
But
to get a crack at somebody else, maybe.
It's white collar boxing, so it's all about fun, and we can't, thank these people enough. The people who are taking
So
part
Tina,
in boxing.
if it's anyway as successful as 2009, you would be very happy.
We would be extremely happy, yes, we would be extremely happy, and a lot of pressure would be taken off us, with regard to raising the money year in, year out.
Okay, I didn't say this to you before you came on. I didn't get a chance to say it, but do you have a big sponsor? Would you like to thank anybody? I know you've got the problem there. If you start thanking somebody, you might leave somebody out. So I'll leave that up to your best judgment there.
Not really. We have all the businesses in the town really are sponsoring, sponsoring the fight night. They've given donations and whatever. They're all behind us, and many more. I mean, so many people. I don't want to mention anybody because I'd be afraid of leaving somebody out. But there are so many people, that have been absolutely brilliant year in, year out.
Indeed, Tina, if I might say so myself, like people like yourself and Eddie, who work in the community, and I know it's not just the Christmas tree that you're involved in. Look at Eddie there, he's a fantastic, a tireless worker in the community in Ballinagh. You're on the Fleming's Folly Committee. You write the articles in the Celt. You took that job off my father, if I remember correctly.
That's right.
And you do, and you do great work in the Ballinagh, and indeed yourself, you do as well. And if you want anything done, what do? You go to a busy person, don't you?
Yeah, that's true. But we don't mind. Well, I don't mind. My family are reared now, so there's a big gap in my life. So I like to think the Christmas lights are my baby. I mean, Eddie is just a phenomenal leader. He's the chairperson of our committee. The rest of our committee are just, I couldn't speak highly enough of them. Brilliant workers, brilliant people. Everybody in the town is just excellent. I don't want to leave anybody out because everybody is so good, and especially we really want to thank Brian McKeown and Andy Murray and all the boxers that are taking part on the night.
I'm sure, guys, you will have a great night. Now, we're going to go to a break in a minute, but just before we do that, I'd like to say that, okay, you're in tonight and you're going to talk about Ballinagh. Ballinagh is a great village. Everybody loves their own village, and but if I said to you, okay, why is Ballinagh so special, Eddie? What would you say? Come on,
well, I suppose it's my own native place,
Well, what's special about it?
Well, I think the people in the town are very friendly, helpful, and considerate, and if they can do you a good turn, they will certainly do it. It's a very nice community.
Good place to live.
Yeah, it's a lovely place to live. And I would like to live anywhere else.
Okay.
But I couldn't speak highly enough of them, and they certainly help us out. We do, I suppose, a certain amount of us does a bit of work on the Christmas lights. But the raising the cash is the big thing, and you still have to have money to put the show on the road.
That's right, Eddie. You're so right.
Haven't been found wanting.
Okay,
you know.
so that's the big thing this year, folks. It's the Ballinagh Christmas lights, the big fight night this night week, the 29th of November, 9 o'clock sharp, in the community centre in Ballinagh. They had a brilliant night in 2009, and as Tina says, there's some surprises on the night. So there you are, folks. That's where we're all going to head next Friday night. Okay, so we're going to go for a break now, but stay with me because for a treat tonight, I'm going to treat you to some nice music. Come back to me after the break.
Cavan Crystal Hotel provides 4-star accommodation on the edge of Cavan town. Located conveniently on the Dublin Road, just 60 minutes away from Dublin. With 85 beautifully appointed bedrooms and a number of luxurious suites. We offer wedding packages. With our one wedding a day policy, we guarantee to make yours a special day. Enjoy a meal at our award-winning Opus One restaurant, or have a drink in the atrium or residence bars. Feeling energetic? You can work out in Zest Health and Fitness Club, or maybe pamper yourself and visit Utopia Health and Beauty Clinic, or Avita's Hair Salon, both located on site. Situated only 5 minutes from Cavan Town Centre and local amenities. Cavan Crystal Hotel, gateway to Ireland's Lakelands.
TV's News and Views. Great programme tonight. I'd like to say thank you to my two guests from Ballinagh, Tina Kenny and Eddie Brady, telling us all about the great stuff and the big fight night next Friday night in Ballinagh. Now, a little musical treat for you this evening. My next guest and his darling niece, Rachael, have come into the studio. This guy is a bit of a maestro. Great, he can play any instrument and a lovely harmonic voice and great at singing and all that, but he likes to get out and do it for the community and sing for the LMC choirs and youth choirs, sings at healing masses, and he likes to sing that kind of music and loves to give it to people and teach them and train them. So my next guest, it's Hughie Sheridan and his niece Rachael are going to give us a lovely, lovely, lovely song. Away you go, guys.
Lord, I come, I confess, bowing here, I find my rest. Without you, I fall apart. You're the one that guides my heart. Lord, I need you. Oh, I need you. Every hour I need you. My one defense, my righteousness. Oh God, how I need you. Where sin runs deep, your grace is more. Where grace is found is where you are. And where you are, Lord, I am free. Holiness is Christ in me. Lord, I need you. Oh, I need you. Every hour I need you. My one defense, my righteousness. Oh God, how I need you. To teach my soul to rise to you. When temptation comes my way, when I cannot stand, I fall on you. Jesus, 'cause you're my hope and stay. Lord, I need you. Oh, I need you. Every hour I need you. My one defense, my righteousness. Oh God, how I need you. You're my one defense, my righteousness. Oh God, how I need you. My one defense, my righteousness. Oh God, how I need you.
Woohoo! Well done, guys. Well done. And thanks to Rachael, your talented niece. Well done. That was really harmonic. That was lovely.
Thank you.
Hughie, tell me about your community work. You're involved in choirs. You work out of the resource centre.
Yeah, I do. We sing every second Sunday in the resource centre of the local Cavan community. We do mass at 12 o'clock. I also sing in the church. I sing at healing masses wherever the Lord takes me to sing and to give hope to people in the sense of you know, to pray and sing with them. And I like to do this, you know.
I feel a sense of a power or something coming running through there, Hughie, which is quite like in today's modern life. That's not really there in a lot of people's lives. How come you're touched by this, or how come this is very prevalent in your life?
For me, with the grace of the Holy Spirit, it helps me, you know, to bring, you know, the youth of the day towards, you know, to God, you know, and to know that God is there for them, you know.
Okay, that's
no
striking
hope.
with me a chord of, like, looking back to the time I spent when I was young years ago as well, that we used to have a thing called charismatic meetings or prayer meetings, and actually I went there to learn the guitar
Very good, very
and to
good.
sing, because there was
Lovely.
nowhere else in those
Very
days.
good.
Actually, that is the truth. But like, I can feel a sense of that coming from you. What takes a young guy? Did you start this when you were young, or did you have a road
No,
to
I had
Damascus
an opportunity.
kind of a event that led you to it?
I had an opportunity to go to Lourdes, and I was asked to help out to sing, you know, for the sick in
Obviously,
Lourdes.
because you can sing, and Rachael is a fabulous singer as well.
Thank you. And with that, I more or less, you know, took it from there. That it was nice to do this, you know, and I felt, you know, it made me feel good because everybody else felt good as well, like, you know. So I wanted to do this more and
So
more.
you get this, you do this, and I know, and I've heard that you'll go anywhere and sing at the drop of a hat
Oh,
for
yes.
people, for meetings, things like that.
Yeah.
Whereas you don't actually do gig in bars or things like that.
No.
Right,
no.
so this is your kind of, you like to channel your music and your energy.
More or less, yeah.
Your
yeah,
energy before that.
Yeah.
Okay, so well done. And actually, this is kind of a theme running here this evening. You're not aware of it, but earlier on today I interviewed two wonderful people from Athlone, and they came in to speak about Bruno Groening, who is a healer. He was born in 1906 and he died in 1958, and he was a healer, and he spoke, you know, through his voice, and he was healing people. And I can get this sort of coming from you too.
Thank you. It's a sense of there is healing in music, you know, especially in the lyrics that you would sing, in the words, you know, that God is speaking to
that
people.
was a Matt
You know, that was Matt Marr,
Morris song.
original, you know.
Yeah, kind of like a Christian, sort of like a message kind of a song.
It would be, yes, yeah. There's all types of other material, Christian-wise, that I would sing, you know, from various artists as well, like, you know, and that. And
You would pick your material from there.
of course, and of course, I like to sing. I'd like to put a CD together, you know.
Are you
and
working on a CD?
I'm hoping to get working on one, you know,
Great
to,
stuff.
you know, maybe 10, 12 tracks, maybe, and maybe send it out, obviously, you know, for charity, whatever, to raise money, like, for whatever it is, like, you know.
So you're involved in some of the choirs there, and Rachael is in a choir, the what's it called?
We used to be in a choir called the LMC.
LMC.
They were a group of sisters, and that, and the group age was from about 6 upwards, you know, to the adults, of course. There was 2 guitars, there was the cajon, and we all sang, obviously, harmonies, and with the ladies, you know, which were
And
very.
what was the demographic of the people that came to that? I mean, sorry to say, in my day, I went there because there was nowhere else to go. Why in this modern age, modern day of living, social media, you could do anything, anywhere. Why would somebody go to meetings like that?
Yeah, well, the meeting would obviously, it was at Mass, you know, when we would be singing with the LMC, you know, and to come to that. And of course, to bring them and give them the happy spirit. Do you know, when they come to Mass, you know, by the time Mass is finished and they're leaving, they're all going to be smiling, you know, and they're going to know, you know, and feel much better. You know, someone could come in, have a gloomy time coming in the door, and by the time they leave, you know, everybody's happy and smiling, you know, and they can relate to what's been sang, of course, because they understand within the lyrics, they have a lot of meaning to the people, like, you know, as well, like, so. You know.
So this would be a lifestyle of people who maybe have who have fallen on hard times, who are feeling vulnerable, or just people, just ordinary everyday folk come and do these things.
Exactly, yeah, you know, bring their troubles, you know, and that, and when they hear this, you know, when they hear the progression of that, they forget, you know, what they're going to be worried about, like, you know, even if it's only for 5 minutes, like, you know.
Yeah.
In that sense,
So what
like,
about the young people of today? Are they all sitting with their thumbs on social media?
I actually think, yes.
What you see is a lot of
communication these days, obviously, are a lot of media. No one actually faces each other, you know, to speak, you know, and suddenly.
You can sit at home and you can stay in your own bed some night and talk to 50 people online. You'll never get doing that out and about. Isn't that right?
Not necessarily, you won't know. But I mean, if you need to, you know, as the phrase goes, get it off your chest. You know, I think if you speak face to face, it's more appropriate. You know, texting or Facebook or Skype.
50 chats on Facebook won't do that.
No, exactly. You know, your emotions are better, you know, and you're seen and they feel better, like, you know, and you've lifted it off yourself as well.
Okay, can I ask you a question, Hughie? Are you denominational? Are you coming from the Catholic aspect of it?
Yes. Yeah.
Very much so?
Yes.
It's not that you just happen to be a Catholic.
No, we were raised as Catholics.
Okay, but
you
when you're out there, you're doing it as a Catholic.
Of course, yeah. But for everybody. I'm a Catholic myself, but everybody's welcome.
Okay, so you're listening and you see the media and you see all the hype and the giving off there is there in the media with the priests and the way the church has gone and the church has lost its power and it's lost its respect in some ways. What would you say to that?
I don't think so. I mean, it's all blown out of proportion. I actually think it is.
It's not in proportion for people who are damaged by the scandals within the church. I know that,
I
but that's
understand
the
that.
stuff that hits the media. I'm not going to batter the church now either. It's not the time or the place. But that is the stuff that hits the media, and that gives young people to say, well, you know, why should I go to mass? Like, you know, that's what I'm saying. That's what the media does. So what do you say to young
aspect
people
of the media
in reply to that?
Yeah, well, the aspect of the media is that they're not focused on what is the truth, you know, in the sense of going to mass and, you know, to be, if they want to be better, to be healed. You know, media sometimes can damage people, of course, you know, social life of Facebook, Skype, you know, upload.
Everything within, within sort of balance kind of thing, you know. Okay, so young people of today.
I think this generation have no belief, literally.
I'm afraid to say that now. And I would say that your folklore, like Rachael and her beautiful singing there, be few and far between.
You know, it's like, you know, if we're going to number it, 3 out of 10 youth people, you know, would, you know, probably in this country now at the moment. Yeah. Whereas when we would have been in our 20s ourselves and even earlier, it was everybody, you know, went to mass on a Sunday, said their rosaries, you know.
We went to mass because, like, you had to go to mass, not because you wanted to.
Well, necessarily,
but maybe
you know.
These young people, these youth that are with you now, they're there because they want to go and because they liked what they saw and they come back, not because they're shotgun there, you know what I mean?
No, you don't know, not shotgun them.
Seriously, Hughie, do you think that in your turn and in our turn, in our time, that we'll see a turnaround where people will go back to their faith?
It does look like that at the moment because they're gradually, because in the resource centre and even in the cathedral, you know, there is a lot of young folk that are there, like, which is very beautiful to see, you know, and really, you know, to come there and you know, say a prayer, and, you know, and thank God for you know,
All of
what they
course,
have.
this is Christmas, the birth, which is all
absolutely.
about the birth
Yeah.
of our Lord Jesus Christ
Yeah.
this time of the year. And sometimes people lose the run of themselves and they think Christmas is about turkey and
No.
mulled wine and presents, the most expensive presents you can get. It's not. This is the time of the year maybe that you can give people a little bit more of your joy and of your faith. Well done, Hughie, thank you so much. And Rachel, for the lovely Rachel singing. And Rachel, keep up that lovely singing. You have a very talented uncle there. Stick by him, okay? So, Hughie, you'll be busy over Christmas with choirs.
Please God, I'm going to
and
do
masses.
a lot of charity over the season coming up. Carol singing, you know, helping out old folks' parties, and you know, I think there's cystic fibrosis on in
That's
you know,
right.
the Imperial. So I hope I'm allowed to say that. And
Okay, would you,
know,
would you just have another little blast of a little short song you'd give us?
let me think. What could I sing? Show me this. Right,
This, folks, this is totally now unrehearsed. Poor Hughie, I've just sprung it on him again. Just give us a verse or two of one of your nice, meaningful songs. And the beautiful Rachel will do the harmony.
As I kneel before you, as I bow my head in prayer, take this day, make it yours, and fill it with your love. Ave Maria, gratia plena, Dominus tecum, benedicta tu.
Beautiful. Rachel, you took the lead on that. That is absolutely beautiful. Well, the youth of Ireland are safe if you're going out with that beautiful voice and a beautiful message. Thanks, Hughie. We'll see you out over the Christmas, and I know at least one of the gigs that you're going to be at.
Yeah.
We'll see it. Okay. Please stay with me. We're going to take a quick break now, but I just want to tell you folks that there just seems to be a little theme running through the programme this evening. It wasn't intentional. We had that lovely sort of ecumenical talk there from Hughie, and the next part of my programme is where earlier in the evening I spoke with two people who came from Athlone, and they are the Bruno Groening, the Friends, the Circle of Friends, and please come back after the break and see that interview.
Cavan Crystal Hotel provides 4-star accommodation on the edge of Cavan Town. Located conveniently on the Dublin Road, just 60 minutes away from Dublin. With 85 beautifully appointed bedrooms and a number of luxurious suites. We offer wedding packages. With our one wedding a day policy, we guarantee to make yours a special day. Enjoy a meal at our award-winning Opus One restaurant, or have a drink in the atrium or residence bars. Feeling energetic, you can work out in Zest Health and Fitness Club, or maybe pamper yourself and visit Utopia Health and Beauty Clinic, or Avita's Hair Salon, both located on site. Situated only 5 minutes from Cavan Town Centre and local amenities. Cavan Crystal Hotel, gateway to Ireland's Lakelands.
Once every 3 weeks, a group of people meet here in the Cavan Crystal Hotel. The Bruno Groening Circle of Friends. I was told about that, and I went on the internet and I googled as much as I could about Bruno Groening. I was absolutely amazed to know that I had never heard of this amazing person, Bruno Groening. So this evening you're going to hear all about it, and with me in the studio tonight ahead of the meeting is Patricia O'Connor and Michael Cardle from Athlone. And you're facilitating the Bruno Groening Circle of Friends meeting here tonight.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming along, coming in early into the programme. My goodness, Michael, Bruno Groening, how come I didn't hear of him before? An amazing story. We'll just go back to the very beginning. He was born in 1909.
Yes, Bruno Groening was born in 1906 in Germany. And from the time he was a small boy, he was aware of his special abilities that he had to bring help and healing to people. People felt very calm in his presence. People felt better in his presence. And he first came to prominence in Germany in 1949 when he was responsible for healing a boy who had muscular dystrophy. And after that time, many thousands of people came to him around Bavaria. 30,000 people came at one time. And mass healings were achieved. And Bruno Groening spoke to people, and when he spoke to them, they received healing. He gave faith lectures, and he always directed people back to God. His words are that God is the greatest physician, and nothing is impossible for him.
Okay, it's an amazing story, a little bit different than perhaps when we would hear maybe of the miracles at Medjugorje or Padre Pio's love, and in that he himself didn't look for any gifts or payments or anything for doing this. It was just something he felt he could do. He didn't lay his hand on people, he literally just spoke to them. He found that during his life as well that he was sometimes at odds with his family perhaps and with his life and what was expected of him. He came from a humble background. He had a hard enough life with the First World War and the Second World War. But he somehow knew that there was a higher power, or God as he called it, that was there, and it was that he was a channel for this healing power. Patricia, you were speaking earlier, you were the person that was giving a meeting, and Michael went to the meeting, and that's where ye met and where it started from there for ye and for here, of course. Where did you find this power? How did you heal about it? What is it? It's not a physical thing, it's not a mental thing, it's a spiritual thing. Please explain it in great detail for the people out there who just might not grasp.
Well, I heard about it through a flyer. A flyer was handed to me in Athlone. There was a medical lecture on at the time, and at that lecture there were doctors there who spoke about this healing stream that came from God through Bruno Groening out to people, and they had documented healing reports there. They also invited us to an introduction, and we were shown how to take in this energy into our bodies.
Okay, so it's a practice of taking in an energy into the body.
Yes.
Now you're not going to do it here now because it's not the place, it's not the time. But you do this in your meetings, which are here on a once every 3 weeks here in Cavan Crystal from 7 to 9. And just to tell us about the Circle of Friends, because that's we're letting people know about this. It's non-denominational.
Yes.
You don't have to pay. Is it even voluntary? Do you give voluntary? Because it does give a lot to the people who come to the meetings.
Yes, and in Bruno Groening's lifetime, Áine, as you said, he never took a single penny for the healings that were achieved. In fact, he gave his last money that he had to the poor people, because he said if he took money he would lose the ability to bring the healing to people. So we are a voluntary organisation, and we are financed exclusively through voluntary donations. And we all do the work, as I said, on a voluntary level, because we ourselves receive so much help and healing in our own lives.
Can I ask you a question there, Michael? Do you see yourself as a channel like he was, or just a person who is telling about his lifestyle and what he did?
Yes, I'm certainly not a channel like he was. I simply, and many people around the world, would just pass this on to people. And, we do show people how to take in the energy.
You're not going to give us any idea of this now?
No.
Okay.
It would be better if someone came to an introduction.
Okay.
Yes. But Bruno Groening said that anyone can pass it on, but it's ultimately, it all comes from God.
Okay. Patricia, I want to ask you a question. You said documented healings and miracles. Please tell me what you mean by that.
Well,
and verify, because at the time I was reading his story, the physicians out there were like, he's like a prophet in his own land. He wasn't accepted. They were saying, get this guy away. He's doing harm. He's doing harm. We don't want this guy. There are thousands of people around him. They think they're going to be cured. But there actually were miraculous cures. So medics have documented that.
Yes. In Bruno Groening's lifetime, he wished to work with the doctors, and he did work with doctors, but not everybody was accepting of that.
Of course.
But now we have over now we have over 7,000 medical professional people in the Bruno Groening Circle of Friends: doctors, surgeons, psychologists. And when a person receives a healing and it's written down, they do a medical comment on that healing.
Okay.
And so it is, for people who know about that, they feel that it is, you know, it verifies the healing, and also it makes it more believable for them if the doctors are involved in this.
Yeah. How are the doctors involved? I know in an international base that the doctors are getting involved. That hasn't evolved yet in Ireland, but it is international. Do the doctors, do they say, okay, we've done all we can for you, maybe you could go to this circle of friends? Is that the way they use it, or how do they use it?
No, well, when Bruno Groening said that if there's something wrong with you, you go to your doctor. That is the first step. And if you're on medication, you take your medication. And the doctors that are involved in the organisation would, so when someone receives a healing, Bruno Groening said, write up the healing, write it down. And at the end, then, the doctor will make a medical commentary on it, a commentary from a medical point of view.
Sort of a testimonial of
yes.
that.
Yes.
And they will say, for example, from a medical point of view, it was impossible to have received healing. So something else must have happened in order for the healing to be received.
Now, another thing that you were telling me about it as well, Michael and Patricia, is that there's a thing called free will.
Yes.
And that we ourselves have to be in tune with this energy or this healing stream. Go ahead, yeah.
So when you come to an introduction and we give you the teaching of Bruno Groening, he said to do certain things, to take in this healing wave.
Or anything
No,
like
no,
that?
no.
It's
It
not
is a
secret.
healing wave that is around us 24 hours a day. It comes from God, and we can absorb that into our body. And this healing stream or healing wave cleanses, orders, and heals the body.
Now, surely, if I was a real skeptic sitting here in front of you, I'd say, okay, then how come there's so many people on trolleys in hospitals at the moment?
Yes. Well,
How would you answer it? If somebody wants to beat the crap out of you and say rubbish, what would you say to that?
Well, then come to an introduction and take in this energy for yourself and experience.
But it only works on the basis is that your free will is there for the right reasons, perhaps, or you're there for the right reasons, what I'm trying to say.
Well, once you absorb the energy into the body, it has an effect on the body. So, I mean, the person will then experience it themselves. If they don't take it in, then they may not get the healing. But it is up to themselves to take in this energy and how much they believe in it. Can they trust and believe in it? And that is why we have every 3 weeks the community hour, where you can come along and you will hear of other people speaking about their healings, and you will get more trust and belief in it then. Well, if this person can receive the healing, I may also be able to receive the healing. So it builds up their faith in it, their trust and belief in it.
You've two kind of healings, I would say. You've got the healing of the physical body, and then I think seemingly, I feel anyway, the more we progress medically and scientifically, the more we have a hole in our soul, that there is still something missing in us as a human being. None of us are perfect. We're all striving for that something, be it the higher power, be it whatever it is we don't know. This kind of thing, that's maybe where people might go to look for that kind of healing.
Yes, and Bruno Groening said that all illness originates in the soul. So when we speak about healing, Áine, it's not just on the physical level, but it's on the spiritual level, that it's a healing for body and soul.
Okay, you can, and you have documented there one recent one in Athlone where you've had what has seemed to be a miracle, and it was the lady with the osteoporosis, and she has now no trace after a DEXA scan of osteoporosis. That's great. That was like a road to Damascus healing sort of scenario. But what about the hole in your soul? Is that a slow burning thing? Is it one day forward, one day back, Michael?
Well, I know for myself, Áine, when I came first, I would have been a very nervous and insecure individual. And I found that by taking in this energy, I became stronger over time. I became much more confident. I went back to college and completed a college degree in business, a business degree. And what I found was that this energy connected me to God again. And Bruno Groening said that that's what it's about for the soul's connection to God.
Okay, I just want to ask Michael, and I hear what you're saying. Does that energy stay with you all the time? Is it in there now and it's there forever? Or does it sometimes drain away and you need to get another surge of that power? Please explain it to me.
Well, Bruno Groening compared our body to a battery. Just as our batteries get run down through use, our bodies get run down as well. A car battery, for example, gets run down through use. So he said, we eat every day for our physical body. So he said, every day we should take up God's energy for our bodies as well.
Okay, so you stay with it.
Yes.
Okay, now you're going to tell me about the ground. What is it? The steps or what it is about it? How it works.
Yes. Well, when someone comes along to an introduction, Áine, we will show them how to take up this healing energy, this healing power, and Bruno Groening said that we should take it up for 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes in the evening. Now, we want to point out that this is a completely natural process, and Bruno Groening himself was a very simple, humble man. Yeah. And he always just invited people and encouraged people to take up the healing energy every day. And he said, it's up to you yourself. He said, trust and believe. Okay.
The poor man himself, he died in 1958, and he died of, as they said, of cancer. He was, 50? I might have got the figures, the dates wrong there. He was only a young man, relatively young man, 58, but he died of a cancer. Mm-hmm. I did say to you, why didn't he not cure himself? Of course, the obvious question, but you handled it well. Come on, tell me.
Bruno Groening said himself that if I am forbidden to do my work, my body will totally burn up internally. And that's what happened to him, because so many people came against him. Times, yeah. And
even his own wife.
Yes. So that's what he had to go endure in his own lifetime.
Yeah, he had a hard life. He lost his 2 children.
Yes.
Because of the pull between himself and his wife. That's documented. And also, another most notable thing about him was that he had a garter-like neck. He had the glands in his neck, and as it was said in some of the info, that he might have had an extra gland.
Yes.
Explain that.
Bruno Groening said that I don't have a goiter, he said, it's a gland. And when Bruno Groening spoke to people, Áine, people received healing. So the energy manifested there in his body.
In this chakra.
Yes. And he said that the more people were in front of him, the larger his neck became and the better he felt, because he could help many people at the same time.
Okay, so that if he was walking along a quiet country road by himself, this would not be as bad?
Well, when there was less people there for him to help, his gland became smaller.
Yeah, you can see that in photographs as well, and if anybody wants to go on and Google Bruno Groening, it's an amazing story. After he died, he also in his life, he forecast a few things. He forecast the world wars. He had told his family of this, and he knew it, and as it was documented, he was right. And also he Patricia, maybe you'd like to tell me that he forecast that when he died, that his healing would have free will over the world.
Yes. He said this is unstoppable, that it would go worldwide. So, by passing on, there was a small group left when he went back to God, and they then gave this information out to the public, and it has grown more and more since then, and there are over 80,000 Bruno Groening friends worldwide.
Worldwide?
Yes.
Okay, you came to tell me about the documentary film, the 5-hour documentary film. Who wants to tell me about that?
Patricia, you again.
Okay. It's a 5-hour.
If you want to hold it up there, Michael, have you got it with you?
Yeah.
Just show the cover over there. You can hold it up there. Great stuff. Okay.
So that's
There
the
you are,
trailer.
folks.
That's the
the
trailer of it, yes.
Okay.
The 5-hour documentary film is about the life and work of Bruno Groening. This film has been shown in Europe and it's also shown in Ireland. It's been shown here for the last...
Is this the first time now? This is...
No, it's been shown regularly for the last 4 years in Ireland.
4 years, okay.
But we have a showing in Athlone Springs on the 6th of December, and it starts at 11 a.m. and it's finished at 5:30 p.m. It's also shown in Belfast on the 13th of December in the Wellington Park Hotel, 21 Malone Road.
Okay.
So that's open to the public. You don't have to have an introduction or anything. It's open to the public. And healings have happened by people have reported healings after coming in and watching this film.
That's amazing stuff.
Because they're in the healing stream. The healing stream is coming, anything that has Bruno's picture on it, also the healing stream is there. It's for the public. It's for everybody.
Okay, so there you have it, folks. Bruno Groening. If you want to come along to that, you come along, and I don't know how they find out the dates, but it's every 3 weeks in Cavan Crystal Hotel from 7 o'clock to 9 on a Friday evening. You come, you join the circle of friends. The meeting will be led by Michael.
And I'd like to say, Áine, as a follow-up to this interview, next Friday the 27th, we have an introduction meeting for new people, and it starts at 7 p.m. and everybody is welcome. Anybody who's interested even in spiritual matters, or anyone who feels that they are in need of help and healing. We just want to say that there is help out there, and you know, so we're offering this to people who need help or healing in their lives.
Okay, beautiful, and beautifully said, and lovely story. Thank you very much. Well, there you are, folks. There you have it. If you feel you need some healing, and you know, as I say, every person in the world today needs healing, come along to a Bruno Groening meeting here in Cavan Crystal Hotel, and we're only too delighted here in Cavan Crystal to facilitate the meeting and let Michael and Patricia talk to you tonight and tell you all about the story of Bruno Groening. Well, that's it for this week's programme, folks. I'd like to say thanks to my guests in the studio. That's Tina Kenny and Eddie Brady from Ballinagh, and they were telling us all about the big fight night, and also to Hughie and Rachael Cosgrove with their fantastic singing. Well done, guys. And I'd like to say as well that the interview with Patricia O'Connor and Michael Cardle telling us all about the Bruno Groening Circle of Friends, that will be in the edited version of our programme that will go out later after tonight's programme. That's it for me on Cavan News and Views. And remember, folks, it's the weekend, and do take care.